fresh one is so fresh, we can't even confirm the age right now. It could be younger than 6. So don't quote us on the age yet. That's how fresh this is. Like, we don't know if it's exactly a 6-year-old boy. It could be younger, so I know, I'm sorry, I tried to come back in here. We're getting information ourselves, so that's how fresh it is. I apologize. That's what happens when I'm trying to get shit out quickly. But definitely a juvenile male was shot recently. Can't speak to that one. Unknown age, but under 10. And I'll bring Lieutenant Lacefield for that. All right, guys. Making his way to the podium is the commander of the non-fatal shooting unit, Lieutenant Steve Lacefield. He'll say and spell his name for you all.
Good afternoon. Thank you guys for coming. I'm Lieutenant Steve Lacefield, Stevelacefield. I'm pretty limited as to what I can talk about this, as it's an ongoing investigation, but I want to provide you guys a couple of quick updates. Last night, just after 8 p.m., a child was struck by gunfire during a senseless act of violence. This incident spanned approximately 8 miles on 65 North from Outer Loop to Woodbine Street. We know that there were multiple armed parties involved and at least 15 rounds were fired. The victim, a 6-year-old girl, was struck in the back by 1 round. She is out of surgery and in critical but stable condition. We don't yet know the impact that this will have on the rest of her life. Our detectives have worked around the clock, writing multiple search warrants, processing evidence, speaking with witnesses and involved persons. And at this time, we believe that we've identified all involved parties after consulting with the Commonwealth Attorney's Office and federal prosecutors. Anticipate bringing closure to this case in the very near future. As a city, we need to grieve for this child and her family, but we should also be angry that there are people in this city who think that this is okay. As a community, we need to take action to stop this pandemic of violence, to realize that the more inoculated we become to it, the worse it will get. It shocks me that after an incident like this, stretching almost 8 miles through the heart of the city, that we've had only a very small handful of witnesses come forward. We can and should do better than that. You have my word that our agency and my unit is committed to using every resource to investigate and prosecute these violent acts. But we need every resident of Louisville to share that commitment with us. If you have information, share it with us by anonymously calling our tip line at 574 LMPD. I can take just a handful of questions from you guys.
With the 15, you said 15 rounds, can you just speak to the amount of gunfire that is? How many weapons were used, and was it all in the same location at the very end?
No. We know that there were at least 15 rounds fired, and we have recovered 3 weapons thus far.
Are you expecting multiple people to be charged in this case?
I can't speak to that yet.
Are you able to say whether gunfire was coming from the car as well, not just the motorcycles?
I can't speak on that yet.
Has anyone been charged to this point?
I'm not going to speak on that yet.
Were all the shots fired at the end of University Boulevard, or was it like kind of throughout the 8-mile?
We believe that it was throughout.
Do we know yet if any other cars were impacted or any other residential areas being impacted?
Nobody else has come forward on that, and that's the most shocking thing to this is we know that there were at a minimum 15 rounds fired in this incident. The child was struck 1 time, but that could have been any one of us, any one of our families on the roadway at that time, and that really bothers me, as it should bother all of us.
Can you speak to the danger of it again happening on that stretch of highway and then ending near a campus with the businesses in the area?
Anywhere misdirected or aimless gunfire, like that puts everybody at risk. If it's in a rural area, bullets can travel a long way and still be fatal. So the fact that this is at a university going down an interstate, like there is a high likelihood of somebody getting hurt or killed doing that. And we're very fortunate, all things considered, that only 1 person was hit.
How were you able to track the motorcyclists down so quickly? Because it seems like they were at the scene as well.
through good investigative work. And that's all I can say on it.
Couple more.
Can you say whether, the people in the car and the motorcyclist knew each other ahead of time, or whether this was just a random thing? And can you speak to road rage, what you want to do if you're a driver, you're experiencing someone else with road rage, how you should proceed?
All right. At this time, I don't believe that they did know each other prior to the incident. If you find yourself in an incident like this or any road rage incident, just break contact. Just do the right thing, break contact regardless of what your ego says, and don't be involved.
Do you all know what the relationship was between the driver of the car and the young girl?
It was his daughter.
Were they the only two in that vehicle?
No, ma'am.
Two more.
But you can't say, like if they fired shots back or what led to the gunfire from your knowledge, because you've interviewed all of them, right?
We have. But I can't say yet. We'll do a follow-up statement on this once we get all the facts together and corroborate all the information that we have thus far. We've been working around the clock since this came out at 8:20 last night. I've got people that are still here in the office working on it, doing interviews and building a case. So I don't want to put out anything that's inaccurate. So
Did anybody else call 911 other than like, or did you guys just find out, how did you become aware of this child being shot?
I haven't looked at the CAD notes. I know that the child showed up at Cosair's Hospital. As far as 911 calls, I haven't had a chance or the need to review that yet. I'd say one of the detectives has, but I don't have knowledge on that.
Last one.
How many times was the car hit?
I don't know yet.
Well, you said there was 15 shots.
Mm-hmm. I did.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
3 guns.